Once again, what could have been a shining moment turned into a total disaster. Morgan Freeman, a true legend of cinema with a career full of iconic performances, came ready to share his wisdom and depth. Anyone would expect a conversation with him to go beyond the surface, offering rare reflections from someone who has truly seen it all in Hollywood. But that's not what happened. Instead of exploring his incredible journey, The View took a baffling detour. They skipped past the meaningful topics and dived headfirst into empty chatter, wasting precious time with meaningless fluff. It was a misstep from the very start, and just when it seemed like the interview might finally get back on track, the entire segment was suddenly cut off. The audience was left in shock, confused, annoyed, and robbed of what could have been a powerful exchange. Today, we're breaking down every awkward moment from that chaotic interview. And believe me, you're going to love how Freeman handled their clumsy attempt to drag the conversation into a controversial direction. He shut it down with calm, quiet authority, and it was unforgettable. Make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you're always in the loop when moments like this unfold.
I'm one of those people who's very, very interested in this subject, life on the planet. You understand that today, life on the planet is in a little bit of trouble. And we're the cause of it.
That's right.
There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. I mean, 6 times. Large portions of life. Not human life we're talking just life. Gone, destroyed. But we're headed for another one.
Morgan Freeman came on the show to promote his latest project, the Netflix documentary Life on Our Planet. This breathtaking series takes viewers on a journey through Earth's dramatic history, spotlighting the rise and fall of species over millions of years. From sweeping extinctions to incredible adaptations, the show captures nature's power to reinvent itself through time. What makes this documentary stand out isn't just the visuals or storytelling, it's the message. Unlike many climate-focused productions that lean heavily on fear, this one steps back from the panic. Instead of declaring we're on the brink of doom without immediate radical action, Freeman's narration offers something far more balanced and deeply reflective. The series doesn't ignore Earth's challenges, but it places them in context. It reminds us that long before humans existed, the planet went through countless cycles of change, extinctions, shifts, and rebirth. These have always been part of Earth's rhythm, but this calm, science-based approach didn't sit well with everyone. Joy Behar, known for stirring the pot, wasn't about to let Freeman's level-headed take go uncontested. Without missing a beat, she cut in with an interruption that completely shifted the tone.
Well, it's tenacious if we would just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And the human interruption of all of that is what's causing all the problems. I hope that it's not too late. But let me ask you this, Jeff. Seeing the rise and fall of all these species, because some are coming in too, right? And many are leaving the planet. Did that change your perspective on life?
My perspective on life, I don't think it changed my perspective. It just enhanced it. Because for a long time now, I've been listening to what they say about, I drive an electric car.
You could almost read the expression on Morgan Freeman's face. A slight smirk, cool and composed, as he calmly pushed back against Joy's alarmist tone. It wasn't loud or confrontational, but it was sharp. And let's be honest, that moment had been a long time coming. For years now, the media has cranked up the volume on climate panic to a fever pitch, leaving many people genuinely overwhelmed. Remember in 2019, when headlines screamed that 11,000 scientists were warning of untold suffering? The message sounded apocalyptic, until you actually looked at the fine print. Their so-called solutions weren't exactly built for real life. Proposals included towering carbon taxes meant to punish energy use, abandoning GDP as a measure of success, cutting way back on meat consumption, and, believe it or not, stabilizing the global population. In other words, goodbye to modern life as we know it. The message was clear: trade comfort and convenience for a lifestyle that belongs in a museum exhibit. All this, while the same loudest voices crisscross the globe in private jets, shaming average people for grilling burgers actors in their own backyards. And the irony? It's off the charts. According to the Gossip Mill, lighting a steak on a grill is enough to send some of them into full meltdown mode. So if you're planning a barbecue tonight, go ahead and celebrate. Just maybe hit that like button while you're at it. But right when the conversation was heating up, Sunny decided to jump in with a question for Freeman. And of all the meaningful things she could have asked, she chose this?
I want to ask you about a different documentary.
Go ahead.
As some politicians around the country try to erase Black history, you're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past, including this documentary that you executive produced called 761st. Did I get that right? Yeah, 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers, about the first Black battalion to fight in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes, and you served in the Air Force. I know that. This film was then very personal to you.
Oh, yes, heavens. Start in the 40s and move up. And how many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
There were servants. They were always. I know it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch old movies, Betty Davis movies are particularly, even though she's great, and
it's the period.
It's not her
time
fault.
that
It's
the
the
movies
period.
were made.
It's upsetting to watch. To tell you the truth.
It shouldn't be that way because somebody did make money.
Yeah.
Seriously, Morgan Freeman, one of the most respected voices in Hollywood, is right there in front of them. And that's the question Sunny decides to ask? It's almost impressive how far off the mark they managed to land. And just to add another layer of cringe, the entire episode has mysteriously disappeared from the View's official YouTube channel. That's right, scrubbed from the platform as if the segment never even happened. But the internet has a long memory, and tools like the Wayback Machine don't forget so easily. It's pretty clear what they were trying to avoid. The clip showed their awkward, forced attempt at race baiting fall apart in real time. And no one was buying it. Let's talk about Sunny for a second. A quick glance at Freeman's past interviews would have told her everything she needed to know. He's made his stance clear. Black history is American history. That's his message. Simple and powerful. But it doesn't exactly align with the narrative Sunny was looking to push. So instead of doing her homework, she charged in blind. And the result? A total misfire. Then came Joy, who somehow managed to look more personally offended than people who have genuinely experienced discrimination. Her expression as Freeman calmly and confidently dismantled her entire argument? Priceless. Naturally, once things started spiraling, Whoopi had to step in to clean up the mess. And what followed? Frankly, it was the same tired pattern we've seen before.
That's the time. Now look at today, things we're always in flux.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, we've always been here.
Yeah.
Fluxing out.
Flux. Exactly.
I had a question, but we run out of time. Listen, this is extraordinary, this documentary.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Right on cue, they pulled out the classic excuse. We're running out of time. Maybe that was true, but in this case, it felt more like a convenient exit strategy than a scheduling issue. The way they wasted Morgan Freeman's presence came across as downright disrespectful. This isn't just any guest. This is Morgan Freeman, a towering figure in film with decades of iconic roles and meaningful commentary. And yet, despite everything he brings to the table, he got just 6 rushed minutes. No real questions, no depth, just fluff. Meanwhile, lesser-known guests have enjoyed far more airtime without being cut short. It was a missed opportunity of the worst kind. A conversation that could have offered insight and perspective was instead sidelined and eventually deleted from the show's digital lineup like it never happened. But that wasn't the end of it. Freeman didn't just walk away quietly. Not long after, he appeared at the Oxford Union. And that's where things got truly interesting. With his usual calm clarity, he broke it all down, explaining exactly why both Sunny and Joy had completely misunderstood his views. That moment, it was powerful. And if you haven't seen the clip yet, you're gonna want to. It's hands down the highlight of the week.
I don't think there was an issue of race in Hollywood. Somewhere back there in the 70s, the decision was made by almost all and sundry that we have to start open casting. Now, if you look on television, you pretty much see the range of cultural, that's not the right word because we all belong to the same culture. Anyway, but you see everybody. And I think that Hollywood learned in the 70s, here's reality. Ossie Davis directed a movie called Cotton Comes to Harlem. It made hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, Hollywood is colorblind. It only sees green.
When Morgan Freeman is given thoughtful questions and the space to speak, his wisdom shines through without effort. This is someone who hasn't just watched history unfold. He's lived it, shaped it, and carried it on screen for generations. His insights aren't rehearsed. They come from experience. Freeman has seen Hollywood evolve over decades. He doesn't just reflect on history. He is part of it. His perspective carries weight, the kind that only comes from walking through real change, not just talking about it. And yet, The View managed to fumble that incredible opportunity. They had a living legend sitting right there, and still couldn't rise to the occasion. It's almost baffling how badly they misread the moment. Now it's your turn. What did you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation alive. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to pass it along to your friends. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.